Hello everybody. Now then, we have got something that I personally really like, and I know for a fact, it's a big fact, that a lot of other people can't stand at all. So it's something I think is absolutely fascinating, and I do believe if people could get past their fear of them, they would actually be really quite interested. And of course what we're talking about is the Scolopendra dahani, which is an Asian centipede. It's one of what they call the giant centipedes. Now this is a rather cool little beastie. Now today we are going to do this rehouse in honour of one of our young subscribers, and we are talking about young Mr. Boston from New Zealand. Now Boston is only 4 years old, but I've been assured by his father that he watches all our videos. So Boston, sit tight, and I hope you enjoy this one. This is a cool little beastie. Right then, so what we're going to do, we're going to set this up as a bioactive. So we're going to put all our clay balls in. Get some more. That'll do for that. Now this is quite an important thing now. This is a 30 by 30 by 30 Komodo enclosure. Now, by being 30 centimetres high, generally speaking, the giant dahani doesn't get over about 8 inches. So they can't climb glass. So this gives us a little bit of leeway. Although when we fill this up, he will be able to climb out the top, should the top not be on it. But with this secure top, these are perfectly ideal for centipedes. I like them a lot. So we're going to get some of our regular potting compost. Now what we're doing here today is we're using the regular compost just literally to bulk this out and give us a little bit more substance, a little bit of weight in the bottom really. And then we're going to top up with our very own beastie material. There we go. And as you can see, this is full of leaf litter and what have you. There's lots of isopods, springtails, there's all sorts of stuff in this. We're going to fill that up like that. Now, these centipedes do enjoy a little bit of burrowing, so we're going to give them a reasonable amount. Now we've got ourselves some stuff here. The idea is we want to make this fairly natural as possible, really. So I've picked up some really nice wood. This, as you can see, if you might be able to hear this, this is absolutely bone dry. Yeah, so there's nothing in this. This is, to all intents and purposes, what we would class as a dead piece of wood, but it's not rotten. It's absolutely solid. Now, I envisage what we want to do is we want to make something that's visually appealing. Here's another piece here. Maybe just add a little bit of something. What we're doing is we're giving our centipede plenty of places to disappear to, should he want. Add a little bit more in the back here. Now I can hear you all shouting out, oh my god, he's going to climb out the top. Well, he might well do. But, as we are all nice and confident keepers, we're not going to be too worried about that, are we? We're going to get this under control. So we're going to put that in there like that. And we've got a nice piece of moss here, which, if you come over and have a little look, this is actually on a rotting piece of wood here. And as you can see, here we go, look, these are full of isopods. All these woodlice, these are wild British native woodlice. And there's lots of them in here, and they get literally inside there, down in there as well. They're all over the place. There we go. There they are, look. Now these guys live in the rotting wood, and they make their home in there. But they're very, very useful for what we want. So what I'm thinking now is we can put this up here. There we go, look at that. And that gives us quite a nice little backdrop. That'll also give our centipede somewhere to go. He will get in underneath this and hide away. That'll make him quite happy. And we've got a water bowl. These guys don't need too much. Put a small water bowl in there. We have another piece of rotting wood here. We can place that in here as well. What we're doing is just creating layers, really. A little bit more stuff in there. Put that through there like so. And what this is doing now, this is just creating more and more places for him to disappear into, should he want to. We've got a little bit of moss here. We can place that in here. You see, you don't need to be too fussy. There we go, we have a fairly naturalistic sort of enclosure there now. Got a few old leaves that we can scatter around. There we have it. Now that, I don't think looks too bad. So we'll top up our water bowl. We'll give our moss a little bit of water. Now there you have it. One simple centipede enclosure. Now, one of the things that's worth mentioning here now with the centipedes is these guys are found throughout the subtropical world, really. They're pretty much everywhere, although most commonly found throughout Asia. But there's not many countries where centipedes aren't found in one form or another. Now, what we've got here, this is our Asian one. And what we're going to do is we're going to open him up. We've got our catch cup ready, should he decide to do a runner. We're hoping he won't. Now then, these guys do have a significant bite on them, so you do have to be careful. What we're going to do is we're going to lift this up very, very gently. And hopefully, if we don't disturb him too much, he'll allow us to have a little look at him. So there you go. As long as he's got his head tucked into that bottom of that piece of wood, he's actually quite happy. Now you'll see on the centipede there, on the giant Scolopendra, they have 22 segments and there's one pair of legs per segment, which gives our centipede 44 legs. Now these guys breathe in exactly the same way. As you can see here, they breathe in the same way as our cockroaches do. These are what we call sphericals, and they run, there is a spherical to every segment on the upper part of the body here, and this is how he breathes, or she. We think this one is possibly a female. Now their jaws, they have a very, very impressive jaw, which we are going to have a look at in a moment. Now these are actually a modified pair of legs on the very first front segment, just behind the head. And these are called forcipules. And these have immense pressure in which to administer a bite. Now, as we said before, these guys are classed as a medically significant venom, which, although that means they are strong, it also means that it depends on the victim really as well. So if you're a young child and you get bitten by one of these guys, it's probably going to be quite substantial. If you're an adult and you get bitten, unless you're very open to things like that, like some people are open to bee stings, they can get anaphylactic shock and things like that. Here he comes. Come and have a look. He's just woken up. Now you can see his jaws there. And you can see also as well, by the way he's behaving, he is almost blind. So they literally work on everything as they feel it through these antennae. Here is his antenna here. And you can see this guy are beautifully clean. You can see the forcipules there, which are his jaws, sitting on the side. They come off that very first front segment behind his head. And these are what were originally legs. And over evolution, they've become jaws. And this is what he administers the venom. Them jaws come through to the back of the head and are joined to venom glands inside the head. And this is where he administers the venom to subdue the prey that they eat. Now these guys will take on pretty much any kind of insect food. They will also take on things like baby mice and things like that in the wild. They will take very small vertebrates. So they're very, very opportunistic. Now he's coming up the branch now. So I think what we'll do, you get some lovely shots of him there. He's such a cracking individual. You can see there that you just about see the eyes there. Just see the eye on the left hand side there. As you can see, this one's holding really good weight. And his legs are in really good condition. Now, one of the things that these guys suffer from is mycosis, which is, you will see as black marks in the legs and the antenna. This is normally an indication that you're keeping them too wet. These guys really do like quite a dry environment, although they need the humidity as well. So very much like our spiders, our humid dependent spiders. Although they like the humidity, they don't like it wet. So these guys are very much the same. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try and move our centipede into his permanent home, and hopefully he is going to behave himself and not come tearing out too quick. So we'll get rid of the lid. Now don't forget, we just need to, whatever happens, we just need to stay nice and calm. He can't see a lot, but he can feel a lot. So we're going to lift the whole thing up. Stay calm. You can see that give him a bit of a jump. I'm going to take our piece of bark out. Now behave. Come on. Be nice. Now he's obviously a little bit fret because we've just removed the one and only thing that was giving him sanctuary. So as I said before, these guys are fairly blind and they will react to any kind of touch. So what we're going to do is we're going to touch him down this side and hope that he reacts downwards, because that will help us get him out of the box. He might well come forward, but we will see. You get a real nice close look. You can see all the sphericals down the side of his body here now. They run all the way down. You remember, this is his respiratory system. This is how he breathes, or she breathes, whichever it might be. And as you can see, we're actually in a situation now where she can go either way and come out. So we're going to use the lid. And we're just going to cover over the top like this so it can't come back on me. And we're going to come down here and we're going to try. See how she turns to that? It's all right, girl. Calm yourself down. There we go. Now she's found her way. And that's the last we're going to see of her. Wow. That was fast. Well, all I can say is it was a damn good job that we got a real good lot of close-ups while she was in the box. I didn't actually expect her to disappear quite so fast. Right, now then, let's pick up where we were. So then, as we said in the beginning, this is one of the most commonly kept centipedes in the hobby. You find these guys everywhere. They're not particularly expensive either, so a lot of people tend to pick these up. Now, in terms of husbandry, we're looking at keeping a humid environment, so we're looking at around about 75%, maybe 80%. It's not going to do them any harm, but they do need to keep it dry. If you keep it wet, they will get what we was talking about with the mycosis, which is basically almost like a skin rot. It literally rots away their appendages, and it attacks them in the antennae and in the legs. And you'll see these as black marks. So if you have these black marks coming up on your centipede, then you need to start drying it out. And if you dry the enclosure out, 9 times out of 10, it will set itself right and they'll recover and there'll be no problems. So keep them nice and dry. This, as you can see in here, this is moist, but it's not wet. And this is perfectly adequate. She'll have a great time in all of that. And all we need to do to keep up our humidity is give our moss a gentle spray once a week or so, depending on how it goes. With the full vented lids, we can afford to spray a little bit more often. If you're in a sealed box like she was in here, we don't do any spraying at all. None at all, because it would stay too wet permanently. It's no good for them. Now, food-wise, an adult like this will take on even a large dubia without any problems at all. As you guys know, I prefer to feed my stuff on smaller stuff majority of the time and only give them a large meal every now and again. And that will keep them nice and healthy. And as we said, these do have a nasty bite. So don't try handling it. As you've seen there, she was a little jumpy, but there was no need to actually panic. As long as we're in control of what we're doing, we can handle these guys without touching them, and we can maneuver them and do what we need to do. And as you saw there is no need to fear these, you know, just show them some respect. That is all they require. Right, well, I hope you like that. What do you reckon, Boston? Fancy a centipede now? Give them a go. Now then, I think we've just about covered that. I don't think there's much more. Temperature wise, we're looking at around about 75 degrees, up to about 80 degrees. Like we said, they are subtropical, but they do like it in a cooler area as well. So not too hot. Don't keep them too hot. They'll be pretty good. So I think we just about covered all of those. What we will do is try and get some footage later on, and we'll try and put back a little bit of thing, because these guys are fairly nocturnal. So at night time you'll see them come out and they'll go on a hunt looking for food and what have you. We'll see if we can't get a bit of footage of her moving around of a night time, and perhaps do a future video on it, do a little recap. Right then, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spiders. I'll see you soon, guys.